Alright, let's be honest about something. The only real reason most people got into the Shantae franchise is because of boobs. Well, at least that was the reason for me, but with the way the fandom talks and all the fan service, I'm pretty sure that's probably the case for a lot of other people too. Anyway, disregarding the whole sex appeal thing, the Shantae series is still a pretty good series of platformers, with good music, fun mechanics, and a colorful cast of characters. Most people's favorite game in the series is Pirate's Curse, but for me, my personal favorite is Half Genie Hero. Half Genie Hero is widely regarded as being pretty mediocre overall, with there being some fairly mixed opinions of it. To be honest, I have no clue why it's my favorite, but since all of my channel seems to be good for anymore is reviewing overlooked or underrated games, let's take a shot at this game too, and hopefully I'll have as much fun with it as I did the first time. And yeah, I'm playing the Wii U version because this poor thing needs some love. The game starts with a mysterious beginning, late at night, when Shantae hears some strange whispers. She investigates these whispers, and a voice comes, claiming to be from the Genie realm. It says that a great danger lurks, looking to bring destruction to both the Genie realm and the world, and it tells Shantae that she's the only one who can stop it from happening. But it goes away before it can go into any real specifics on details or anything, because of course it does. The next day, Shantae's uncle shows her his plans for a new invention that'll protect the town from evil. However, the blueprints get stolen by Risky Boots. Do I even need to say anything about her? I mean, she's the main villain of the series. She wants to rule Sequin Land, which is the land of the games, and she's hot, which is the most obvious thing I've ever said in my whole life. Anyway, there's a short boss fight with her and you recover the blueprints. With them back, Uncle Mimic can work on his new machine, but you have to travel across the world to collect the components needed, while along the way helping out various peoples with their troubles and stopping smaller villains' plans. What makes Half Genie Hero different from the rest of the games is it not being a Metroidvania style platformer, at least not entirely. Instead, it's closer to a level-to-level side-scroller. The game is split into multiple worlds, which each have around 3 levels. While I will admit that I prefer the Metroidvania style from before, the linear style does have its perks. It makes the adventure feel a lot more casual, and it's easier to find a stopping point to put the game down. On the positive side of things, there is a central hub world, well, kind of. After you clear a level, you can return to Scuttletown and do a few things. It's not massive though, but there's a few places to visit. A gallery, a bathhouse, which restores health and you can also get hints about what to do next here, and an item shop. The shop is probably the most important spot in the whole game. You can buy various things here, like potions to restore health and magic, weapons like fireballs, and a lot of upgrades. It makes the game so much easier. There are shampoos to increase your attack, creams to increase your whipping speed, armor to increase defense, and various other neat dances and charms. I'm glad that it's the way it is though, that a bunch of stuff can just be bought here with gems instead of having to get collectibles in each level. I mean, there's enough of that as there is right now, so I'm thankful for it. At least transformations came back too, which are one of the biggest things about these games to make them stand out. The dances to transform are way simpler and faster to choose from than before. When you press X, the world freezes, and you can choose from a variety of dances with the analog stick, or D-pad, or keyboard, or whatever, because this game came out like 9 different systems. Anyway, this new system is way more convenient compared to have to memorize dances like in the original game, or wait for a long cycle of dances, and it makes me more likely to switch between forms so much more often in this game compared to Risky's Revenge or the original. A crap ton of forms came back from previous games, like the monkey, elephant, spider, and harpy, but a crap ton of new ones too, like a crab, a bat, a mouse, a blobfish, a tree, and a jug. Okay, most of the new ones kind of suck, but it's the thought that counts. Each of these transformations have their own abilities to help out in various scenarios. As a monkey, Shantae can climb walls. As an elephant, she can ram into stuff. And as a crab, she can walk underwater. As a spider, she can walk underneath walls. And as a bat, she can fly. Most of these forms have upgrades too, and quite a few of them are optional. The majority of them, like Crab Claw, let you attack while transformed, while a few here and there can give you a new ability entirely, like Bat Sonar. Each time you get a new form or ability, if you go back to a previous level, there's a good chance that there's new items that can be collected with it now. And that's a big part of the game, backtracking, which isn't so bad in Metroidvania style games, but here it can get a bit annoying having to do. It's not as annoying as you might think though, since even though you can't enter specific levels on the world map, a special warp dance can be used to skip levels the player has already cleared. On top of that, you can also use a special whistle on the menu screen to return to world map at any time. Anyway, to get back to the new stuff, it includes a whole range of things: hurt holders to increase health, sucking souls, which have a purpose I'll get into later, and there are some spots that lead to the Genie realm, where places you can get the form upgrades I mentioned earlier. There's just something that feels rewarding about seeing an obstacle you can't overcome early on, and then coming back and getting what was behind it. And a lot of times after beating a level and getting a new ability, you don't know where to begin. Should I move on to the next level right away, or should I revisit the first level again? Or the third, to use my new power to get another new power and use that in the 5th level. Sure, it is kind of overcomplicated, but I will concede that, but I kind of like it. The main aspect people don't like is that while a lot of this collecting is optional, almost every time you clear a world, there's a short interlude. You have to probably revisit somewhere to get an item before you can move on to the next one. Yeah, I think this is probably a big part of why a lot of people don't like this game very much, but if you're 100% in a game like me, revisiting past areas isn't that bad because you're gonna do it anyway, so to me there's not really much of a difference if the filler wasn't included. I almost forgot the greatest collectible of all, keys, which can be used to unlock rooms in a gallery in Scuttletown and look at some stuff. This ranges from official concept art to fan art, and a lot of it is pretty good. Some is good, some is less good, and some are pretty bad, and some are okay. What the actual fuck am I looking at right now? I mean, what the fuck is this? What the actual fuck? What the fuck is it? God, fuck is this? Okay, let's move on to the characters, because every video I make has to have a couple minutes dedicated to characters for some apparent reason. I really need to learn how to write better scripts and learn how to voice stuff over. Yeah, I know I sound really weird in this video, but I've had to like redo 17 lines like 17 times because of freaking vehicles in the background, god damn it. But oh, thanks a lot. You hear that, you guys? The vehicle. Just gotta wait for it to leave before I can move on with my script. Okay, it's taking a while to go. Okay, it's gone now. But anyway, most of the cast of Half Genie Hero are comebacks from other games, including all of Shantae's closest friends. Sky has been promoted quite a bit, being the one to transport Shantae across the land. She's kind of a dick at times though, and shows up the least during important cutscenes. Roddy Tops comes back too, and look, I know she does have a bubbly and fun personality, but why do so many people want to fuck her? I mean, she's a zombie, fucking a living corpse. Fuck you, car in the background. Yeah, I know this video is probably gonna get demonetized, but I'm gonna make like 50 cents off of it anyway. But seriously, go away, car. Anyway, I'm trying to get to my important epic point of why you shouldn't fuck a zombie. But yeah, fucking a living corpse that's probably decaying doesn't sound like fun to me. That being said, yeah, she's still pretty hot though. But no, you should not stick your dick into a rotting corpse. Why the heck am I cursing so much this video? Like, I don't curse this often. Okay, now, you know what? Let's move on to my favorite character, even though it might not have any feminine charm. My favorite character is Bolo. This guy is kind of the butt monkey of the series, but he's hilarious and kind of relatable too. I mean, like 80% of the population in this game is female. And despite all his efforts, he still can't get a girlfriend. It's kind of depressing how much he wants to be a hero, but ends up failing at literally everything he tries, unless he does it by complete accident. He's hilarious, and I honestly feel like if Bolo was female, he might be everyone's favorite waifu from these games. I mean, I don't know, there's a double standard, because, you know, Fire Emblem Free Houses, Edelgard was like the most popular one out of the three, from even though character wise I feel like everyone hates her the most, but you know, being female really does get you a lot higher in the fan base, so yeah. Now, I really hope I don't get canceled with this video. This video is probably going to get demonetized already, so I don't know why I'm so out of character in this video. Not out of character, but I don't know what's gotten into me lately. I mean, I do have some dental problems, I guess, that's kind of pissing me off. So yeah, take good care of your teeth, kids, or teenagers, or adults, or what even is the average age of people watching my videos? Because I've looked up my like analytics, and like it's like 90% are like 18 to 25, but I assume that most of my audience are probably teenagers, the kind of comments I get. But anyway, the barons from previous titles return as the villains for most worlds. Each have their own little petty plans, and each gets stopped by the player. Ammo Baron crashes a magic carpet race to steal them because he wants to make uniforms for his troops out of them, which is understandable, since you have to admit these guys do look pretty cool here. Techno Baron is actually a mass murderer though. He turns mermaids into canned food, and then when his genocide is complete, he starts kidnapping actual human women and shredding them up instead. And after all of that, he just gets a slap on the wrist. So, the justice system, or Sequinland justice system, is honestly probably worse than the American justice system, which is saying a lot. Hypno Baron tries to end the world, and Squid Baron, I honestly hate him. I know that he's a fan favorite, and he is kind of funny sometimes, but he's pretty insufferable at the same time. The only brand new villain is Holly Lingerbean, or whatever that's pronounced. Lingerbean, I guess. I really suck at pronouncing stuff. It's not my strong suit. But she is interesting to say the least. After the whole fiasco with Risky Boots setting a town on fire, the mayor tries to replace Shantae as a town genie for failing to stop that, and he replaces her with Holly. She claims to be a half genie, but it becomes apparent really quick that she's probably something more, as a lot of the town people's memories get erased. I also really like the way Sky looks here. She looks so dumb. The only clue Shantae gets is something about a place called Tasseltown, but when you get there, Holly says that the town has been destroyed hundreds of years ago. At the end of the world, Holly reveals that she isn't a half-genie after all, instead some kind of memory-eating entity that wants herself to replace all the memories of everyone with her. And after beating her iBoss worm, she gets deleted from existence or something, and everyone's memories are returned. Alright, now it's time to talk about random stuff that didn't really fit anywhere else in the script. I guess the biggest thing is this game kind of reminds me a lot of Super Paper Mario. I mean, the art style is roughly similar to 2D platformer with RPG elements, and you can use an item to exit the world at any time. That might actually be why I like this game more than the other Shantae games, since Super Paper Mario is my third favorite game of all time and all that. And there's also various voice clips between dialogue sometimes, but to be honest, these lines sound kind of odd. I can't be the only one who thinks this, can I? It's probably because these lines are so short, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much context the voice actress got before voicing a lot of these over. I mean, the voice work is great, I'm not saying it isn't, but they should have gone all out and have like a lot more dialogue voiced over, because these just little clips, if they feel a little too, I don't know, they don't really flow too well, I guess. And the last random thing I'll talk about before moving on to the final boss is the difficulty of the game. Half Genie Hero might be the easiest game I've ever played you can actually die in, unless you skip a lot of collectibles. You get so much health, so many items, shields, and enemies just don't do that much damage at all. Bosses especially are complete jokes, yet still manage to be kind of annoying sometimes as they take an inconceivable amount of hits to beat. With almost every boss, I never try to dodge their attacks and rush right into them to spam attacks. I heal when I take enough damage and then just repeat the process until they're defeated. So once you manage to find every part of the machine, Mimic turns it on, and things don't go so well. Risky swapped the blueprints early on in the game, and what he made instead was a machine capable of reversing the nature of genies and corrupting them. Shantae then becomes evil and has probably the worst name of any dark counterpart of any hero I've ever heard, Nega Shantae. Her transformation is cliche, and it doesn't leave that much of an impact since she manages to regain control pretty fast after her friends enter her mind and tell her to fight it. With Shantae back to normal, the player gets two choices, to either head straight for Risky's lair or do some side quests for the Barons. And this is where some of the other collectibles like sunken souls come in. If you collect every sunken soul, all the scrap metal, a computer chip, and a poster for Squid Baron, you get various items the Barons picked up from Risky boots. Mimic can then use them to make a reverse polarizer to counteract the dark magic of Risky's machine. You probably also want to collect all the gallery keys, and if you do, you're given possibly the best item of all, a tiara that gives you unlimited magic, which completely breaks the game since there is some OP items that use magic, like a dance to restore health, and a bubble that makes the player invincible. So yeah, as you can tell, the end game is gonna be pretty easy, at least if you get this. Risky's lair is still crazy annoying though. I mean, it's not hard, but there's sections like this with spikes. Lots and lots of spikes. Touching them sends you back to the start of the screen, and controlling the harpy form isn't easy. And there's this one part where you're supposed to use your monkey form and wall jump through a spiked path, but the first time I played this game I thought you were supposed to use the harpy form, so yeah, that sucked. The final fight has 3 phases. In the first one you fight Risky yourself, and in the second one she activates her machine, and to shut it down you attack its generators. When it gets shut down, the genies take Shantae into the Genie realm. But when Shantae thinks it's over, Risky's machine turns back on and takes control of the genies. Shantae then has to fight against the genies herself. In this phase, you have to attack the genies, and then fling their energy into the robot and hope that it doesn't bounce off the force field, which happens quite a bit. Also, this robot reminds me of something from my childhood. I don't know what it is, but if it reminds anyone of something else, I'd like to know. Anyway, this battle is fairly easy, even without cheating with invincibility and healing a lot, and honestly, there's not much else to note about this battle. I mean, the background looks pretty cool, the music is okay I guess, but not really anything else worth noting. I'm used to talking about a final boss for like 5 minutes most of the time in each video, so it feels a bit weird to talk so little about one for a change. With the machine destroyed, the portal to the Genie realm is closed and everything blows up. But you're not out of the water yet, because there's one last challenge. It's one of those escape sequences. Yeah, I hate when games pull this shit, unless it's Metroid. Thankfully, if you do fail, you don't have to fight the final boss all over again at the very least, and it's also fairly short. Depending on whether or not you got that polarizer, the ending is different. In both endings, the mayor gives Shantae her job back, and her friends all list out their plans for the future, and then go their own way. In a good ending, the genies communicate with Shantae and Mimic and tell them that the Genie realm is okay. Her mother is alive and well too, yet we have never seen her as of this point. Then the two of them walk off, and the story comes to a close. However, there's still quite a bit left to do, as there are tons of other modes to play, quite a few being DLC, at least in the original version. This game did get re-released, and that version had all the DLC for free alongside some other things, but that version didn't come on to Wii U, so I had to buy all the DLC for like 20 bucks or however much it costs. Let's start with Friends to the End. This mode takes place when Shantae gets her mind corrupted, and her friends enter her mind to save her from her evil self. You actually get to play as her friends in this mode, and each of them have their own abilities. Roddy can throw her head to get through barriers, Bolo can use his grappling hook and spiked ball, and Sky, well, they really had to stretch to come up with idea for her. I mean, I can see Roddy since she's a zombie and Bolo is an adventurer even though he's kind of a screw-up, but Sky really hasn't shown much fighting capabilities before. But they made it work by having her throw birds and bird eggs to attach in the birds. Yeah, they're really stretching on that one. Her birds also barely do any damage, but she can kind of hover like Peach and Mario too, so she's the character I play as the most. They all have their own magic abilities too, like Bolo can throw balls, and Roddy can somehow pull a brain out of who knows where and eat it to refill health. Yeah, I'm not going to dwell on that for very long. Switching between characters is super easy too. Just use ZL or ZR or whatever those buttons are on every consoles. I'm not looking it up, I'm lazy. It's a lot of fun having to use each character's abilities to progress, but this mode is insanely flawed in my opinion. For one, all the levels are from the base game, which wouldn't be so bad if you didn't have to play for all of them multiple times in the main game. Playing them again just feels kind of redundant. The second and probably biggest flaw though is how it's a linear stage to stage adventure, cutting Scuttletown out as well as pretty much all the upgrade items. You only get free hearts for the whole game, and there are no items to refill health or magic, and no extra weapons or things to make the game easier. The only thing that comes close to an upgrade is collecting gems, which can level up each character and increase their attack. But even this is ruined, since if the player gets hit they lose a couple of gems. And worse yet, it's possible to get level downs. And even worse, when you're at the maximum level, you can't collect any more gems, so each hit will always level you down. With all of these factors combined, things get hard and painful towards the end. The furthest I've ever gotten is the airship in World 4. The platforming though is just too annoying, and the soldiers respawn at a ridiculous rate. It's a shame too, because the dialogue and their interactions with each other are just gold. Especially if a part where Sky and Bolo get naked, switch clothes, and slap each other with a fish. And no, I'm not going to give you any more context on that one. Look, I completed the main story 100%, and this video is only going to get like 300 views if I'm lucky, so I doubt anyone is going to care about me giving up halfway through this one mode. The other big mode is Pirate Queen's Quest, which is a lot better than Friends to the End, since even though it's the same old levels again, there are items and upgrades here. Better yet, there's a world map, you can revisit previous levels, and best of all, you get to see Risky taking a bath. But remember what I said at the beginning of the video? Well, it's not so far off now, is it? Swear to God, if this video somehow gets a crap ton of views, there's probably going to be at least one person who buys this game just because of this picture right here in this video, so, yeah. I don't know what else. You know who you are, the one person who's gonna do that. No shame, no shame. Remember I said at the beginning of the video. Yeah, you don't want to know my story, how I got into the franchise. The other modes aren't noteworthy either, as all of them are just a base game with a few minor tweaks. Hardcore mode is just a game but super hard, and everything kills you pretty fast. Hero mode is basically just a regular game, only have most of the transformation dances from the start, including the harpy form, which makes the early levels incredibly easy. Jammy mode just might be one of the stupidest things I've ever heard of, especially the plot. Shantae decides to host a slumber party and is inviting everyone, including Bolo. Yeah, I'm sure that's not going to cause any problems at all. I'm sure he'll behave himself. She even goes out and tries to invite all the villains for some reason. Is Shantae high or something? I mean, why does she think it's a good idea to invite everyone to a sleepover? Plus, I'm pretty sure Shantae's like in her early 20s at least, and stupid for car in the background. Shut up, please. God damn it, I was on a roll there. But anyway, like I was saying, I'm pretty sure Shantae is in her early 20s, or at least I hope so. Yeah, that's awkward, but who above the age of 12 even wants to have a sleepover? As for the mode itself, you attack with a pillow and can summon sheep, which do a surprising amount of damage. Other than that, it's the exact same as the regular story mode. Moving on once again, there's Officer mode, where Shantae shows off her Mighty Switch Force cosplay, and goes for Sequin Land using her gun and block powers to save the day or some shit. Yeah, this video, am I really thinking, I don't need to say this video is going to get demonetized, because it's already definitely going to get demonetized with the stuff I've already said, so I better not hold back. And there's another freaking car, and I really hope you guys cannot hear that. Oh, it's a loud one too. Actually, I think it's a motorcycle. Oh, wow. You guys, oh man. I'm going to be so pissed right now if that didn't have any impact at all, because I've had to redo so many lines because of those freaking motorcycles. Okay, where was I? Okay, after that is beach mode. Nice. Very nice. Well, except no, because other than the eye candy, this mode sucks, since you have to keep collecting sunscreen constantly, or else you die. And finally, the final last mode is ninja mode, which is alright. Shantae can move super fast, can throw ninja stars or whatever those things are, can wall jump and teleport. Other than that, it's the same levels for the 20th time. And now with Shantae, Half Genie Hero. A fun game for what it's worth, yet not perfect. While the transformations are cool, and there's that thrill of collection, there aren't a whole lot of levels in the grand scheme of things. Most of the playtime is just playing the same stages over and over again, which gets redundant after a while. In the main story, I didn't get too tired, but for the side modes, I got burned out almost immediately. Despite this flaw, Half Genie Hero is still worth checking out if you haven't yet. Sure, it might not be a large 30-hour RPG with an epic story and character development, but it's a fun 6-hour game, and thankfully, it's the cheapest and easiest Shantae game to buy physically, since it came out for every console known to man, including the Wii U. Speaking of which, the Wii U version is surprisingly not that watered down. There's not really much lag or anything, so if you're a Wii U maniac, I guess you'll be happy to know that. And I think a big reason why I love this game so much, even though I didn't talk about it anywhere else in this video, is that the first time I played this game, I got it like a couple days before I was supposed to go on a trip with my family to Yellowstone, and I assumed at the time that I wouldn't get to go because of my work. I had to take like 2 weeks off, so I put that in, and basically I thought I wouldn't get it because no one said anything. It wasn't until I checked my schedule and saw that I didn't have it for 2 weeks, so I got to go on a trip after all. But I brought my Wii U with me on the trip, and yeah, it was a good time. I can't think of this game, I'll think of that time, kind of like with like I said in my Pokemon Crystal video, how I can't think of that game without thinking of that fishing trip time. But yeah, I will say that this wasn't as good of a time as when I first played that, but I still had a lot of fun playing this. Anyway, tell me what games you guys want me to cover in the comments, or I guess you could write me an email if you really wanted to. And yeah, I promise I'll cover Pokemon Black and White sometime this summer. I just wanted to tackle some smaller stuff first. Well, with that, I wish everyone a good summer, and hopefully I'll see you all later.